Right, so this other section's on tides. Tides very important again for your safe boating. They come in, they go out, go up, they go down. All to do with the gravitational pull of the sun, moon, and the earth. We'll get into that a little bit later. But yeah, you've got to understand the effect of the tides on your boating for the day, particularly if it's wind against tidal flow. It can be a very rough few hours there until the tide might change. So if you factor that into your trip plan, then you can obviously come up with a better trip all round. So delaying your trip home by an hour or so could make all the difference. So understanding the current flows in your local area because of the tides, and then applying it to your trip for the day is very important. Another very important aspect of boating, not for everybody, but for some people who like to go offshore, that means you typically got to cross a bar. We live on the east coast of the country, crossing a bar to get offshore. Tides and the weather is very important, save your life. So with the tides, generally speaking, the incoming tide is the one to say, let's say, the better conditions you're likely to on any given day will be an incoming tide on a bar, because you have the water coming in the same direction as the waves typically. Waves meaning possibly a swell. And swells, if you don't know what that is, there can be possibly very large waves, and sometimes you can have a lovely day like we have today, hardly any wind, but we are still affected by very large swells from perhaps 300 or 400 miles away in the Pacific Ocean. So you can have a very serious time of it if you don't understand it. It's not all about just looking at the sky and going, it's a lovely day, let's go boating. You must check the weather thoroughly and include your swell heights, your wave heights, and perhaps through the whole day too, because it can change through the day. Outgoing tides are generally considered to be the roughest conditions on a bar. If you're going to get some big waves breaking on a bar, and that means very dangerous conditions for most boaties, that's typically going to be because you've got an outgoing tide and the water is running against, so you have a tidal flow running against the wave train, so the waves tend to stand up a lot larger than normal. You can get some very challenging conditions. Best left to the experienced.